The last angle that we need to cover is for we, and we get a very distinctive sound. The key sound is mos. Mos. That's going to become very evident as we go through this video. What happens is we take the full verb, whatever it may be, we cross off the final R, and we replace it with mos. Let's do some examples. What's the verb to speak? Hablar. So we take hablar and we would cross off the final R, replacing it with mos. And then we get hablamos. Hablamos is we speak or we talk, because hablar is to speak or to talk. So we have hablar, you get rid of this final R and add in mos. So we have hablamos. Notice that the push down is happening again on that penultimate syllable before last, hablamos. A nice way of remembering is that the stress comes just before the mos sound. So we have hablamos just before the mos. Let's try with another verb. What's the verb to eat? Comer. So now we take comer and we get rid of that R and add mos. So we get comemos. Again, you see the stress before last, just before this mos, comemos. Comemos is we eat. What's the verb to go out? Salir. So to say we go out, we would take salir, cross off that R and add mos. We would get salimos. Again, the push salimos just before mos. Notice that we have an IR verb here, salir, and so it went to salimos. We didn't have to change anything, just get rid of the R and put in mos. Also in comer, we had an ER verb, so we just got rid of the R and we kept this E, comemos. Then for hablar, we have an AR verb. Again, we just got rid of the R, we keep the A, hablamos. So it makes it nice and uniform. If we have an AR verb, hablamos, or if we have an ER verb, comemos, or if we have an IR verb, salimos, it stays nice and uniform. Let's do some practice now so you can try it for yourself. If you don't get the hang of it right away, don't worry, just keep repeating it and you will find that you get the hang of it pretty easily. So we're going to try to jump straight from the full version of the verb into we. So what's the verb to sing? Cantar. We sing. Cantamos. We sing here every day. Cantamos aquí cada día. To use. Usar. We use. Usamos. To take. Tomar. We take. Tomamos. We take it. Lo tomamos. To smoke. Fumar. We smoke. Fumamos. We don't smoke here. No fumamos aquí. To sell. Vender. We sell. Vendemos. We don't sell it now. No lo vendemos ahora. To kiss. besar, we kiss. Besamos, to suffer, sufrir, we suffer, sufrimos, to buy, comprar, we buy, compramos, we buy it every day. Lo compramos cada día. To pay, pagar, we pay, pagamos, we pay it today. Lo pagamos hoy. So, to summarize, to get we take the full verb and we erase that final R, replacing it with mos. So we'd have pagar, we get rid of the R. Let's do it up here. And then we replace it with mos, and we get pagamos. Remember that this stress happening right before the mos. That's very important so that you can pronounce the word correctly with the right stress point. Because once we start adding in mos, the words start getting a bit longer. So it's easy to make a mistake there. But you're always pushing down on the word, extending it just before wherever mos happens in the word at the end. Pagamos. So we stress the syllable right before mos. It's really just a matter of getting the sound in your head. It's a feel thing. So whether we're expressing we or they, I, he, she, and it, you get the feeling for the sound from the verb. For example, if we run through quickly, you'll hear that we have a very distinctive, very common sound for we. We have pagamos, hablamos, comemos, tocamos, besamos, salimos, compramos, sufrimos. You hear that repeating pattern for we. It's a sound that you get into your head and then you learn how to quickly get it with whatever verb you're trying to use. And that goes for they, for I, he, she, and it, for you, for all the different angles.